you grew up construction worker dad, like, I mean, probably like a lower income family, still hardworking parent, but rougher life.
Yeah, no. So like, my parents had me when they were young, and then my next sister is 6 years younger than me. So there's a pretty big age gap, but, we grew up in California. Both my parents had, I've said this before, so I don't think they'll give a shit. They both had drug problems or other addiction problems of some variety. So like different periods of my life, like neither of my parents had a job. Sometimes my mom had a really good job at one point, but, it got really bad when I was like 7 or 8. And it got to the point where I think I'd been to like 12 or 13 different elementary schools. So like, I mean, I was literally in a perpetual state of being the new kid every fucking year, because we'd have to move every fucking year.
Yeah, so that's fucking what. Was it just because of the different jobs, or just what's going on?
It was like partially because of the different jobs, but then it was like, you know, like parent loses this job or whatever. Oh, we get evicted from this place. Okay, we're going to move to another town where none of the rental agents know that my parents are probably not going to be able to pay for it, and then move to a different place, go to a different school, get evicted from there. Then at some point, my parents separated for a while. They're still together now, but there was a period where they were separated, and I was living in the RV in my grandpa's backyard. That fucking sucked ass.
How long was that for?
Like a year, probably. So, and like California, they don't, at least at this point, I don't know, maybe it's changed. This was 15 years ago, but California really doesn't have air conditioning, or they didn't at this point in time. They have fucking swamp coolers, which is just, I'm going to get a bunch of water and blow it into this fucking room, and that's what's going to cool you down. So it's like,
this is still to this day, modern houses won't have AC in California.
Yeah, and I'm like living inside of a metal box in a fucking backyard in Orville, California, with nothing but a swamp cooler, while my fucking 3-year-old baby sister watches Finding Nemo on repeat 24/7 every fucking day.
She's autistic, like
no, she's just
she's really like Finding Nemo.
I mean, she's just a little kid in that phase where it's like, that's my favorite show. We're gonna fucking watch it over and over and over again. Yeah. So
like, life is dope right now. You're going, so, and what age were you at that point?
I would have been 9 or 10, somewhere in there.
Yeah. It's, dude, and now that you do, I love childhood trauma. It's like, that's why I get along with you guys. I'm like, oh man, my same. Like my dad, now I grew up in, I've said it before, like 700 square foot house for 7 people, 600 square foot house for 7 people. It was like 2-bedroom, lots of space. Just didn't know I was poor until I grew up, and I was like, So no one picked rocks out of beans? I thought that was normal. I thought
right. No, for sure.
You're like,
no, I get it.
you did the same. You're like,
oh yeah.
And you have no, like, now when you look at our kids, you're like, you fucks have no idea. And
dude, that's the scary, because I got little kids. That's the scariest part for me as a dad. Like, I can give my kids pretty much anything that their little brains can imagine, and it's like,
do you appreciate?
I love you. I want to give you everything, but there's this like thing in the back of my brain where it's like, I got to figure out how to traumatize you just enough so that you're funny and I'd want to hang out with you. And it's like, how do I traumatize you without being that asshole that you hate? You know what I'm saying, though?
Oh, dude.
There's nothing worse than a rich kid that's been given everything and is just an insufferable prick. Like, I can't let that happen.
And it is hard to find the balance, because you do, dude, it is the hardest balance in the fucking world right now. You're like, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, that's not my, like, but then you're like, no, fuck him. I didn't have that.
Yeah.
Like right now we're teaching about allowance and taxes and savings. So I'm like, here's 10, I take 5. I put it away. He's like, well, where'd that go? But that's the government's now. You don't get that.
Worry about it. It's for the food and the air conditioning.
So like, oh, well, I want to blow it now. It's like, okay,
go ahead.
It's like, well, next week that game comes out. That's going to be $10. Well, I'll just use that. I'll use next week's $10 for it. It's like, nope, you want to spend it now. You have to wait 3 weeks then. He's like, what?
Good for you. I think that's good parenting.
It's the best. It's the best thing. And Ryden's the easiest kid in the fucking world. Ryden's doesn't like any. You know, when you have like any of the mobile games, what's the Roblox or anything?
Yeah,
you know, they buy skins, characters. Since Ryden is that level of like, he wants the baseline and he wants it repeated. So I bought him a character screen. I was like, bro, look, I bought you this $5 cool angel. He's like, I don't want that one. I want bacon hair. I was like, okay, you want the basic one? He's like, yep. And then he will play the exact same game, the 5 maps, indefinitely. For the last 4 years, he has not switched a map. He's really good at those maps. He destroys fucking everyone.
So like my strategy, I refuse. My kid does not have a tablet. I refuse.
Smart. I mean, that's probably one of the best choices you can
I refuse. My child is not getting unfettered access to the internet for a long time. So like what I'm doing is I'm only going to give my child game consoles, the exact same game console at the exact same age that I got it. So like my kid's 4, in 3 more years, he's getting a Game Boy Color. I already have it. He's getting a Game Boy Color and Game Boy Color games. And he's getting fucking a PS1 with a Bug's Life, because that was my first game. And that's my strategy. And my kids aren't going to know any different until they hit like middle school. Because my fucking 2 sons, my oldest son will have the memory of handing his brother a controller that's not plugged in and still letting him think he's fucking playing. It's gonna happen.
You're doing so good.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Can I send you a regular Nintendo?
Yeah.
I want you to record them trying to figure out how to operate it. Don't tell them about blowing it in the cartridge. Don't tell them about pushing it down. Like I want an experience where they're like, what the fuck does this thing do in here? Most kids don't know you have to set it down.
Oh, bro, my kids won't know anything though, that my kids have never played a different game console. So like they're going to start with that. They're starting off at level 1. There's none of this fucking you start off with a tablet and you can download apps and it's just fucking wireless charging. And no, they're starting off at fucking level 1. I'm dead ass serious.
You're gonna be so confused going to like middle school. Kids are playing, you play the new XY, you're playing fucking Fortnite, and they're like, Bugs Life?
Yeah. 100%.
They're inviting their friends over. They're like, we got the new game. Dad just updated our console.
There's no updates on PS1, homie. There's no updates on PS2.
They're just gonna put in Bugs Life. They're gonna show their friends shittiest graphics in the goddamn world. The kids are gonna be like,
they're gonna think it's great.
Is your dad fucking with you? You live in this house. They get Bugs Life.
I mean, I'm kind of fucking with him, but it's for his own good.
Well, I've always said, I was like, imagine having a kid and you teach him the wrong colors. Like that
might be a little aggressive, but all right.
I always thought it'd be hilarious.
What if my kid was dyslexic but with colors?
What color is this? Purple. Like, because they have no frame of reference. They're just like, go to school until it's all wrong. So you did childhood, grew up fucking also poor. Parents going back and forth. I've never talked about, like, so my mom had drug addiction and pill addiction. Like, I was, again, dad, hardworking Mexican dude, fucking crushing life. Mom did her, she was a stay-at-home mom, and then just unstable, to say the least. So you get used to that, and that's what you grow up with, and you think it's normal. And then going out of, like, did any of your parents do rehab?
No.
Oh, so you got
I'll tell you how my parents did rehab.
Oh, sweating it out, locking
bro. How do you think I got in Iowa? So like my dad was deep for a while. My dad, you notice how my dad and JD got along? They had similar career paths for a while.
Dude, your dad, when you can tell, like, when love your pops, he's one of the best humans, but you can tell that lifestyle, like when they start talking, how they talk about certain shit.
Guess what I got for Christmas one year? Somebody else's PlayStation 2 type shit. Anyway,
and you're going to do the same for your kid?
Not that part. I mean, actually, kind of. I'm going to buy it from GameStop, so it is technically somebody else's. Okay. But you know,
your dad's like,
yeah, no, I don't know. My parents got back together, and we lived in a house for a little while. That went on for maybe a year or two. And then it got to the point where I think my grandparents wanted to take me away from my parents. And then my parents are like, all right, fine, we'll fix it. here's the plan. We're going to get on a Greyhound bus with a backpack full of clothes. And then I had another backpack with my PS2 in it. It was a Goosebumps backpack shaped like a coffin. It was pretty dope. Anyways, we got on a Greyhound bus for 3 days and drove across the country. That was a fucking experience. If you've ever ridden a bus across the country, I don't recommend
Nick
it.
just got there, by the way. They just got to Iowa. It was like 3 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You grew up. You had a family. Like Greyhound. If you do not know this is not the fastest way to travel. Greyhound bus. We actually had a running joke. One of the what was it? It was an individual that was like, he wanted to work for us. This is years ago, another company. And we're like, oh yeah. But in order to come from Florida to Utah, we were going to make them have to take a Greyhound, but we get to pick the route.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like 98 days to get to us. Jeez. Let's just record it. It'll be good content. But go on for your Greyhound
so
bus.
I don't know. We drove across the country in a Greyhound bus and, moved to Iowa with a fucking backpack. Got to start my whole life over for like 6th or 7th grade. And then, got to see both my parents just get sober because they didn't know how to get drugs in a new place. And, they're fucking good now. But, in a way, I didn't realize this until recently, but I got to listen to somebody explain how they had an older brother and they got to like kind of grow up watching their older brother make all the mistakes. So they didn't. And I basically got to like see my dad when I was like 12 go from being kind of a fucking shitbag kid into being a grown ass man and be hardworking for his family. So like, I don't have an older brother, but in a lot of ways, like my dad is my older brother because I got to see him do all the fuck up so I didn't have to. So that's kind of cool.
It